Trying to rank for highly competitive keywords is not easy. It's not impossible, but it's a long road and it's challenging when you try to hit page number one of Google with a very competitive keyword. What does that mean? It means that a bunch of other companies are also trying to rank for that keyword. And most of the times you're going to find pretty big companies, pretty well-known companies ranking on the first page of Google. So is everything lost for you? No, it's not, because thankfully we have long tail keywords, which can help you rank much faster on Google and drive relevant traffic to your website. So right now, we're going to talk about what are long tail keywords, how to find them, and how to use them to create content for your website. And best of all, we're going to do it with free tools, because free, right? We all love free stuff, right? So of course, some of these tools also offer paid plans, but you don't need them for the basic information. We need to pull those long tail keywords. So let's get started and do that right now. Well, first of all, what are long tail keywords? Well, just as the name says, it's keywords, but longer. So it's basically a phrase made up of 4 or 5 or more words, depending on the need of the keyword, which is basically a long version of a short keyword. Here's a quick example. Let's say CRM software is your small keyword or short keyword or top keyword. Let's call it that. A long tail keyword version of that would be, how much is a CRM software for accountants? As you can see, the keyword is much longer, but it's also a lot more specific to accountants, but it applies to everything. And that's pretty much it. I don't know if you were expecting a much more complicated answer, but that's it. Long tail keywords are longer versions of a short keyword, but a little bit more specific to something. All right. So now let's figure out, how can you find long tail keywords for your own business, website, content, and everything, instead of trying to compete with the big companies that are usually ranking for your short specific keywords. We can start ranking on Google for pretty specific long tail keywords that honestly, a lot of people search that way. Not everyone goes into Google and searches CRM software. A lot of people go in and search for how to implement a CRM software. How much is a CRM software? So let's figure out how we can discover what are the long tail keywords for specific examples that we're going to go over, and you can use that to find your own. All right, so let's do it. All right, let's get to it. But before we start, if you're really excited about learning how to find long tail keywords for your website, go smash that button so more people can find this video and get a lot of value from it. All right, thank you. So let's get started. The first tool we're going to look at is called Keyword.io. So the address is keyword.io. You can go there and you can see this website. By the way, all of the websites we're going to be looking at today, the tools that we're going to be using, are in the description of the video. You're going to find the links there. So let's start with this one. This is a pretty simple tool. They have a pro plan, but as I said, for what we're going to be doing, you don't need it. The free plan is enough. You do need to sign up, because if you don't sign up, then you can't export or copy the results of the long tail keywords. All right, so go ahead and create an account and you should be good to go. Once you are logged in, just go up here where it says free keyword tools. Let me zoom in a little bit. That should be better. Yeah, so click here on free keyword tools and then go Google auto suggest long tail keywords tool, which will bring us to this page right here. Perfect. All right, so here you have to enter your seed keyword. Remember that we said that long tail, well, yeah, of course. I'm not gonna get the pro right now. All right, so remember that we said that long tail keywords are the long version or a specific version of the short keyword, right? As we said, CRM software would be the short keyword. How much is a CRM software, or CRM implementation would be the long tail version of the CRM software. So we always have to start with a seed keyword. For this example, we're going to use, so I did something. I went into my Twitter, and to my audience, I asked them what their keywords were, or the top keywords for their business were, so I can use them in an example. I got a bunch of them. By the way, if you're not following me, you can follow me at Roberto Digital _. In the description box, you can probably find a link there in case you want to follow me there. But well, I asked them what keywords they wanted me to use as an example. So I picked one of them because we don't have time for a lot. And it's a friend that is building a social media planner tool. So let's do that. So we're going to go and enter the seed keyword social media planner. You can select your country. We're going to leave it in the US and click search. And if we scroll down, it's loading, and we found 372 keywords related to Social Media Planner. Now, remember, we do have to go through every keyword or the list of the keywords because not everything will be related to what we're selling, but we can look at them, right? So let's go over a couple of them just so you get some ideas. So we got the Adobe Social Media Planner, Amazon Social Media Planner, Asana Social Media Planner, best free social media planner. Remember that we're looking for long tail keywords that we can use to create content for our website, be it a feature page, a blog post. Usually we'll use them for blog posts. So just keep that in mind when you were looking at the keywords, right? So best free social media planner, that could be one. We selected there. Let's see, let's keep going. Best social media planner book, unless you're going to write a book about it, probably is not a good idea. Best social media planner for small businesses. Like, this is really specific, right? Let's click on that one. Usually small businesses, they could be like local businesses, like a plumber or something. So this is pretty specific. Best social media planners 2022, in case you want to do something current. Best social media planner tools, we could use that one. Let's keep going. Blog and social media planner. If you're building a social media planner that also allows you to schedule blog posts, this could be a good option. So let's put it there. Let's see, church content planner for social media. As you can see, you have a bunch of options here of keywords that you can use to create content based on these long tail keywords. Free social media planner, free social media planner calendar, a PDF in case you want to turn it into a PDF. So you have a lot of options here. How to create a social media planner. This is a really good one. So once you selected them here, you can export and copy, and then you can bring it over to any other tool that you want to use to check some metrics. Now, Keyword.io is a great tool, but it doesn't provide any other metrics. Like, you don't know the difficulty, the search volume, the average cost per click. You don't get that information here. For that, you need the Pro plan, but at least you get the keywords that you can start planning to create content with them. All right, so this is one option. Now let's jump into another option. You're going to notice that the keywords are almost all the same. I just want to show you a couple of options so you at the end can decide what tool you want to use. Right, so this is a pretty big keyword SEO tool in the industry. It's called WordStream, and they also have a paid plan, but they do have this free option that you can use. It's limited, but you can still use it. So again, wordstream.com//keywords. The link will be in the description below. So let's try it out. Same keyword, social media planner. Let's click on find my keywords. And here it is. Refine your search. Ask you for the keyword again in case you want to go specific industry or country. Let's just leave it as is. Click continue, and it'll do its thing. And there it is. Here are the results. Now, if you noticed, we got less keywords here on Keyword.io. I'll just jump back. We got 372. Here we only got 97 keywords, but we can only see the first 25. Now that's the issue with the free things. So you don't get everything, but you get a little bit more information than the other one, because here you can only see 25 keywords, but you can see the monthly search volume, top page bid, and competition level, which is really good. So let's go over some of the examples. We already looked at some of them. Social media content planner, social media marketing planner. This is a really good one because it has a pretty decent search volume and it's low competition. So social media marketing planner. Let's keep going. Social media strategy planner. That's another good one. Remember, we already saw that one. Social media planner for small businesses. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Sorry. But yeah, social media planner for small businesses. It's a medium, but it has good volume. And you can also look at the cost per click. So if you were run a Google Ads campaign for any of these keywords, you would be paying anywhere from $3 to $4 to $10, $11, $12 per click. That gets expensive. So it's good to work on your SEO. Let's keep going. Social media event planning. Social media weekly planner. So this is pretty specific. Someone that wants to do the weekly planning, right? So again, as you can see, you have a lot of options to create content just with this page. Even not paying for the tool and using the free option, you have 25 options, out of which probably you could use like at least 10 of these to create some blog posts for your website, right? Pretty good. Right, let's jump over to another tool. This one's called keywordtool.io. This is another great tool. Again, the free option is very limited. Here you won't get any data about the keyword, but you get the keywords, so you can get the basically use them as ideas, right? So let's do it. Social media planner, same keyword. Let's stick with that so we can compare. And it's loading. There it is. All right. So of course they're going to try to sell us on the pro option. We're not going to go there right now. And here is the list of keywords. Again, we found over 300, almost 400 keywords, and you're going to get like the first. Let's see if it lets us. Oh yeah, it'll load. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of the keywords here. So this is good. But again, you don't get the data. So no search volume. You only get it for the first couple. Social media planner template. This is a really good one. A lot of search volume. It's trending up. Average cost per click it's expensive. So you would want to work on your SEO for that. And the competition is really high. All right, but just go through the list. Social media planner, Google Sheets. Oh, that's an interesting one. So maybe people want to learn how to use Google Sheets to create a social media planner. You can write a blog post about that, but then at the end of the article, sell them on your tool. That's usually how long tail keywords work. You attract people with the searches that they are specifically making, but then at the end, you try to convert them to whatever solution you're trying to sell. It's just because your social media planning tool it does not work with Google Sheets doesn't mean you can't write about it, right? So let's keep going. Social media planning and strategy. That's a really good keyword. Social media diary and planner. So again, you have a lot of them. Social media plan budget, another good one. Okay, let's keep going. So we're going to jump onto the last tool. This is like one of the top tools for SEO, and it's SEMrush. You probably already know about it. Yeah, this one is expensive. You pay over $100 per month for this tool, but you can't create a free account. Again, the free account is super limited, but it will give you some information that is really useful. So just go to semrush.com, create a free account, and then jump in here and just enter the keyword. Again, social media planner. So here is the information. So as you can see, there's a lot more data that SEMrush provides. SEMrush is a great tool, as I said. And here you get the keyword variations, which are pretty similar to what we had got in the other tools, 397 keywords, and pretty similar. Social media planner, social media content planner, social media planner app. You can click here to view all the keywords. But I wanted to show you SEMrush because they also have a pretty good feature here that is related to questions. So it's kind of like the same, but it gives you data on what people are searching for and how you can use that. So let's click on here on the questions. Here it is. So a day in the life of social media planner, maybe an interesting topic for a blog post. How much does social media planner make a month? Again, probably not that one. How to create a social media planner. How to easily create a social media engagement with a post planner. This is a really good keyword that you can use to create a blog post. And look at the other one. So this is great. As you can see, it's really easy to discover the long tail keywords for your top keywords, for your website, for the content you need to create. So this is very powerful because, as I said, if you focus on long tail keywords, you can rank much faster on Google because long tail keywords tend to have less competition than your regular specific short keywords. There are a lot of tools you can use. You probably wondering, why am I talking about other SEO tools? In case you know me, I created catlinks.io, which is an SEO tool, but we don't have a free plan. And in this video, I wanted to show you how you can discover your long tail keywords with free tools. There are a lot of options out there. So hopefully this information works for you. Try it out. I gave you several options so you can test out what works best for you and just start doing it. Start putting the work in so you can discover those long tail keywords. But once you do it, what's next? Then you have to start creating content, right? That's the best part of it all. If you do the research, you get the keywords, but you don't do anything with it, your SEO is not going to improve. So also work on creating the content that your website needs to attract visitors so you can get more clients and you can sell a lot more. All right. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it and you get massive value from it. If you do, please like the video, share it, tell your friends about it on social media, and subscribe to the channel so I can, continue making a lot of content for you. And it looks like no cats came into the frame, but I'll promise to get a cat in here next time. So I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.